Welcome back to the R.D.C. show. Richard?
Dirt?
Chris.
Alright, we're going to start right off this week. First of all, I'd like to thank anyone who views us. If you want to leave us a comment, one of us will respond to any comment left on the video. We're in the process of redoing, sort of making like a set, sort of. Trying to get a little legitimate with you guys. But I was going to talk this week. I had this whole little speech written out about the negativity of the campaigns, how they talk about Obama's campaign is so negative. But that's old news. The Republican convention just happened. And I just want to get into one specific thing I noticed about the Republican convention. None of the last administration or any of the main people that were fighting Romney for his spot were invited to the campaign, or the little, whatever you call it, the convention. Yeah. None of them were invited to the convention.
Even the vice president.
Yet,
I thought that was like mandatory. So
why wouldn't your hero Cheney be there, who started all the wars? And the way you guys turned on Todd Aiken last week, and then you don't invite, and you didn't invite Sarah Palin yet. She's supposed to be the hero of your cause, motivating the Tea Party, but she's not invited. I just thought it was hilarious that all those people were not there. The whole Bush administration was not there. Now, was that because you didn't want us to remember what they did to us? Or what? Because they talk about Reagan, they talk about this, talk about that. And I love Mitt Romney trying to bring back the Cold War, talking about how he's going to be tough to Putin. Come on, you guys we do not need another Cold War. That shit's old news. But I just think it shows something to the character that Republicans, how they turn on their people. Look at the Todd Aiken thing. They turned on a man who the Republicans in that county selected to run for their office. Now, whether or not he said something stupid like legitimate rape or not, doesn't matter. That's the man their people voted. And they said right off the bat, let's kick him out and let's ignore what the people chose. And then they totally ignore the previous administration there, who they glorified and loved when he was in office. But the minute he's gone, who hears anything about George Bush? Remember, a year into the Obama presidency, they were putting up signs, "Miss me yet?" Mm-hmm. Well, apparently you guys then, because you didn't even invite him to your own convention. I just thought that was a little hilarious.
That is messed up, man. I don't understand none of that either.
Jimmy Carter will be at Obama's, or at least invited.
You would think.
He might turn it down, but he'll be invited. Now, you know Clinton's going to be there, so the previous ones are going to be there. I just find it funny that...
Were the R.D.C. and them other people, were they invited?
No.
Or they never say that? They were never even invited.
Sarah Palin, I heard, said that she wasn't going to go. But it came out that Bush and Cheney and all of them were not invited on purposely. They didn't want them there.
What if they were all said no anyway?
Well, it doesn't matter. We don't know that. But why would they? Tell me Bush wouldn't go back for a little bit more glory?
Why would he go back for what?
He wouldn't go back for a little more glory. Why do you think
Clinton
does that shit?
He was loving getting out of that shit,
Clinton does that shit. He loves going back to that glory.
Clinton does.
What do you think, Christopher? You don't think they would go back for the glory?
Oh, no.
Just to go in there and have everyone cheering Bush. And especially now that everyone says, wasn't life so much better under Bush than it is under Obama?
I don't think that they want to even take a chance of associating Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan, with the previous administration. They don't want to...
Yeah, well, right, but do you believe
Republicans
do you think Bush would have went if he was invited? Do you not think Sarah Palin... Well, she said she wasn't going to go, but
I don't
still.
think Bush would.
You don't think Cheney would have went if he was invited?
There seems to be a lot of confusion in the whole thing, if you ask me.
Cheney can't get out of the public eye. Dude's doing 60 Minutes, 2020, ABC interviews. Cheney would be there.
I don't know what to think of the whole Republican National Convention, because, you know, the highlight speakers are the ones that you really wanted to hear from, which is obviously the two candidates, the president and vice president, or candidate for vice president. And, you know, supposedly Paul Ryan was their brainiac guy, was the guy that had the plan. All right, you know,
the prodigy.
He was the brain behind the whole thing. But even a Fox News reporter stated that He thought it was an attempt at a world record to see if they could fit the most lives into a single political thing, because it was so loaded with crap.
Oh yeah.
So what you have is two people who are very elusive when it comes to their own personal record and accomplishments, yet they want to tout certain things, but they don't want to tell you anything about it. You know, they it just seems
tell us to do how to do it a certain way.
It just seems weird to me that
they both, Romney and Ryan, sat there and will tell you that Obama wants to take away the work permit or enforcement that Clinton put in to act, the welfare work reform. They both have said it in their things the other day, and it's a common interview on Hannity or commercial. They talk about Obama's taking away the work. Welfare to work. He's letting everyone sit at home. When the truth is, he left it up to the governors of the states to decide how much lenient they would be. Well, and he did that because all the Republican governors, which there's like 30 of or whatever, wanted to control it more than the government. But that's what, that's just them taking what he said and totally dragging it into a lie to make him look bad when it's totally bullshit.
Well, you can see the confusion in the people that they interview and speak with at the convention. These people, I mean, if there's one thing that they are not confused about, and this is something that they all say, every one of them say, regardless of their position on other things like abortion, gun control, yada, 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 conservatism, capitalism. Their main thing, the one thing that they all seem to say is, we have to defeat Obama. They don't care. I think they know that the candidates that the Republicans put up are pretty bad. I think they understand that, but they just feel that Obama is worse. No matter how much it conflicts their personal views, like you hear people that talk about abortion, they say, yeah, the government should tell you what you can and cannot do with your own body and your own life and all that type of thing. But this is the party that always preaches the right to have the freedom to do what you want to do.
Yeah, they're the ones that are always saying Democrats are secretly taking all your rights away.
It should be up to the individual to choose. You ask them about any other thing like that, and they'll tell you. I think it should be up to the individual. It should be individual rights, blah blah. But yeah, when it comes to, the whole party is so fucking confused because there's no solid ground there. You can't say, okay, this is what I believe in as a Republican, and say this is what the party stands for, because it isn't. Because it moves all over the place. It is something and it is not something. It is this and it isn't this. It's the same. At the same time, it is and it is not. It is black and it is white. It is, it's true and it's false, and it confuses the shit out of people.
And if you don't see it or speak about it yourself, then it's not true.
For the life of me, I don't really understand where the Republican Party stands. Honestly, I think that there's some things that I identify with the Republican Party, like some conservative things. Yet they don't follow that, and they don't follow
because they're crooks.
No, they're crooked.
Democrats crooks too.
They're all
they're crooks. They just tell you that the other side is and that they're perfectly good.
I think that if the Republican Party actually stuck to its tenets and did what they claimed they were going to do, which was be fiscally responsible with government money, all for that. Yeah. Which means individual rights and individuals' right to choose, all for it.
And states should run more.
There should be a more equal
where Republicans
power,
lose
all for that. But it's the total fucking
where
thing. They go in there and they say, oh, we're gonna solve all these problems. We're gonna slash the spending and do all this. They'll go in there and they'll raise revenue by raising taxes on the middle class. They'll go in there and they'll slash all kinds of social welfare things. They'll take all this money that they just created, this big surplus, and they'll give it away as a tax break to the most wealthy people.
Yep. That's where the Republic. That's what I was trying to say.
The first part looks like it's a conservative value system where they're actually raising revenue and cutting spending. What they said they're going to do. Then they turn around and give it away as some sweetheart deal to somebody, and it totally breaks the fucking whole idea. I don't get it.
Where the Republicans lose me is right there. When they give the wealthiest people tax breaks because they think it's good for the country, but then they slash every benefit to the poor, and yet, mind you, they tell the poor women at the same time, you can't have abortions. We're going to, like Christopher said a week ago, we're going to force you to have this child, but we're not going to help you. But God damn it, you're gonna have it. You're gonna have it, or you're a demon. You know, whatever. Republicans.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know. They crack me up.
Well, I mean, it goes both ways. I mean, it's
absolutely.
You know, I mean, they still
absolutely.
There's things that Republicans, I mean, Democrats. Democrats
well, the one thing about
the same way to a point.
Yeah, but look, the Democrats, they let you know who they are. You know they're spineless wimps who aren't going to get anything done, but they will try.
They're going to spend a shitload of our money,
and they'll spend money, but they do it trying to help poor people. Look, let's be honest. A lot of the stuff that goes to help poor people is abused and isn't right. And it's allowed to be that way because of the way they make the system.
Specific, man. It's just, it should be way more specific.
So there's a lot of stuff that has to be fixed.
Why is there a loophole in writing?
But yet you can't hire people to monitor it because the Republicans don't want that.
Right.
They don't want things being
monitored.
Just
like the healthcare shit. You know, the healthcare bill shit. Why has it got to be 2,400 pages? I don't want to get off subject. I'm just saying for the vast of having a law be put in.
Well, nobody got what they really wanted.
Right.
The liberals didn't get what they wanted, and the conservatives didn't get what they wanted.
Yeah.
So
and it was a
compromise that nobody really gave a fuck about.
And we got shitted on.
And really, honestly, I hope the whole healthcare plan, I hope this is just a stepping stone to get us to single payer, because that's where we really need to be. If we're going to have a government-run healthcare for everybody, it needs to be a single payer system. It works in other industrial countries. I mean, if healthcare wasn't an issue for employers, wouldn't employers come back here if they didn't have to worry about covering their employees' healthcare?
Exactly.
That was off the table.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
They already collect enough taxes, people. Trust me. There's so much corruption, so much waste. Yeah. Probably $8 of every $10 gets wasted. It's that bad. They're already getting enough money already to take care of us, to educate the American people, to make sure nobody goes hungry, to take care of their health care. We can take care of all these things easily. The U.S. government already does health care. Ask veterans, ask the Senate, ask the House of Representatives, ask everybody.
Just like I heard this week from a lawyer at a certain place I was working. This guy said, "You have no rights."
You don't.
You have no rights.
We have rights implied.
You basically, exactly. Boom, right there. We have rights implied. Unless you can spend money for a lawyer that's going to speak for you.
Oh, money, absolutely. Money is God. Money is freedom. Money is power. Money is everything.
Yeah.
It is power and freedom.
The last thing I'll say on the Republican...
Well, no, but see, and that's the thing, though, you know, just like you say before, vote for somebody that lives on $300 a week, man. We'll fucking be able to spend that shit and change shit better than anybody else, man.
Right.
If you can make it work in your own house, you can make it work in your own community, we can make it work for the entire country.
If we all do
it's that simple.
All of us together.
The only response Republicans ever have to that is drilling for oil, fracking the land. That's their only response to creating jobs. That was brought up so much at the convention, and that's, you know, it's 100-year-old stuff, people. There's other ways to fix the world than to pollute the sky even more. Did you like the drought we had?
Solar
be
panels
more in store for you. If casinos use solar powers and wind turbines to run their buildings, I would say that's a pretty smart bet. Casinos are meant to
technology does get better, and I know they are using technology on them.
But Republicans will never want it that way.
No.
They will always want to dig for gas and oil and tell you that's the only way to do it. But the one thing I'll leave you on, because they brought up the Republican convention, if it's so good, how come when you guys had full power under Bush, you did not do it? Peace.